Have you ever prayed with every ounce of faith in you and still gotten the answer you didn't want? I have. I've prayed for healing, for good news, for that miracle, and then the biopsy results came back and it was cancer. It's in those moments that faith gets real, not polished, not tidy, real. So today I'm going to talk about what it means to trust God even when the answer is no. Welcome back to the Redeemed Mess. I'm Kathy, and on this podcast, I talk about the messiness of life and how Jesus, in his grace and mercy, redeems every part of it. Whether you're walking through hard seasons, searching for hope, or just need a gentle reminder of God's faithfulness, you're in the right place. Today's episode hits really close to home. We're going to talk about those prayers that don't get answered the way we hoped, those moments that shake us, and what it looks like to still say, Lord, I trust you anyway. I want to start by saying something I believe down to my core. God hears us when we pray. I've experienced that over and over again, and I believe He is able to heal. He's done it before. He's probably done it when I didn't even know it was needed, and He'll do it again. But I've also stood in a place where I've prayed for healing, begged for good news, and got the opposite. I remember waiting for biopsy results and praying, Lord, please let it not be cancer. And then it was. I can't tell you how that felt in the moment. It was almost as if air left the room. I had to make a choice in that moment. Either God was still good or he wasn't. And I decided to keep trusting him. There is a verse a lot of us hear when we talk about prayer, and that's John chapter 14, verses 13 through 14. Jesus says, whatever you ask in my name, I will do it. Now, if you pull that out of context, it can sound like God is promising to give us anything we ask for, like a blank check. So when we pray for healing and it doesn't happen, it can shake our faith. But that verse isn't a promise that God will grant every wish like a genie in a bottle. It's a promise that when we ask in alignment with his will and for his glory, he hears and acts. And sometimes the way he acts doesn't necessarily match what we pictured. One of my favorite passages is Daniel chapter 3, verses 17 and 18. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are about to be thrown into the fiery furnace. And they say, our God is able to deliver us. But even if he does not, we will not bow. That even if faith is where trust lives. Trust me, it's not easy and it's not tidy. It's raw and it's real. And that's where I've found myself in those hard seasons, praying for one outcome and getting another, and still saying, God, I trust you anyway. Trusting God doesn't mean pretending the disappointment isn't real. It means holding both truths at the same time. This hurts, and he's still good. When we don't get the miracle we hope for, it doesn't mean God didn't move. It just means he moved differently. Sometimes he gives peace that doesn't make sense. Sometimes he gives strength you didn't even know you had. Sometimes he uses the trial to draw you closer to him than you have ever been before. And sometimes his healing looks eternal. It's bigger than we can see here. So no, it's not wrong to trust God no matter what. That's not a lack of faith. It's faith at its deepest. It's saying, Lord, I believe you can, but even if you don't, I'll still follow you. If you're walking through something right now, waiting on test results or praying for healing for someone